Hello, all, and welcome to Hessa's General Assembly. All right, so we have a few housekeeping things going on. Let us know if you're finding any issues with DCE or if you have any fellow students who are having issues seeing the events that we post. So, like our art and wellness event that just happened, or our volunteer days with the Harvard Square Homeless Shelter. Please have them reach out to activities. It's a issue where the system isn't flagging every student correctly. And so they just have to manually change it. So it's nothing crazy. It takes them like 5 seconds to fix it, but then you're able to see everything that's happening. Again, this is through the My DCE portal. Really important. We have two open positions right now on the board. We do have someone in the interim for inclusion and belonging, or culture and belonging, I think is now it's what it's settled into. We've had a few name changes in it, which is Haley, but we're having open calls. So if you can email us, I should also get you guys a link to subscribe or click on it. We have like basically a form that we have you fill out. We also have a deputy director role available in events. So if you are doing interested in doing events online or in person, please let us know. It's a lot to manage as one person. We definitely want to get that done. So if you're interested at all in HESA, and if you've emailed me before and I have managed to miss your email or follow up, ping me again. My inbox has basically 4 inboxes in it at this point. So things do unfortunately get missed, or my follow ups are a little bit longer because I have my student email that goes into my student email. Every question that goes to HESA goes into my student email. Direct emails from you guys go to my student email. So it's really getting quite cumbersome. And then all my admin stuff is also going to email. So, not an excuse. I should be better, but my inbox is a very scary place. Office hours to meet with the HESA team are disbanded until February. We can't hold any events over J term because it is so intensive. So just so you know, but we have so many incredible things coming down the pipeline for February and beyond. All right, then going on to meeting with the dean. I'm gonna maybe I'll stop share for a second and that way I can look at you guys directly. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. So we met with the dean this past month, and it was really important that we asked some of the questions that we were asking. Everyone's biggest question is always around ESRI, so removing extension studies. We did get not any real more clarity, but a real like foundational promise to keep working on it. Essentially, there's some steps that need to be taken to make sure that when the vote goes to vote, it's good to go. And I trust that she's actively working on that. So there's not a huge update, but based on what she has told me and in confidence, I have a lot of trust in that. All right. Clearinghouse was another one. Okay. Oops. Sorry, Ivy. Sorry. The clearinghouse is a big deal. Essentially, all the other Harvard schools have all their degrees stored in the clearinghouse. It is considered best practice by every other Harvard school, and where our stuff is stored is not in the we use the basic IDs, that the virtual IDs. It does create problems with employers a little bit. My employer did not know where to look for it. They said, "Hey, I can't find your degree." I gave them the unique link to my degree online that shows me, hey, yeah, I actually did graduate from here. But it's something that we're hoping to change. And from my understanding, they are actively working on that to see what they can do to make that collaboration happen. Summer housing was a big one. We basically asked if there's other spaces where we can be housed during the summer. There's a bunch of vacant properties across Harvard, but the interesting thing about Harvard is Harvard charges Harvard. So it's not like it's a free thing for them to do. They are actively looking for spaces, but I know that every year this becomes a huge fight to try to find housing. And then the Airbnb market is expensive, and it's just a real financial suck, truthfully, on a lot of people who need to come to campus for their like on campus time for over the summer. We asked about housing at the law school and other places that don't really have a lot of summer programming. They said they've looked into it, but it would be more expensive than the other option that they provide, which is the ones in the normal traditional student housing that we have access to right now. I suggested we have a conversation with them because I think even if it's more expensive, it's probably less expensive than market rate going to Airbnb and such, or staying in a hotel for those 3 weeks or 7 weeks that you're on campus. And it's also a pretty big jigsaw, so I understand from a logistical standpoint why it's very hard. The extension school allows high schoolers to be on campus during that time, so we can't have those housed with those of us that are over the age of 18 for obvious reasons. And then additionally, you have people who are coming in for 7 weeks, people that are coming in for 3.5 weeks. We also asked about people who drop from the housing list. So they're planning on coming and they haven't yet made it. And then they say, hey, actually, I'm going to punt this to next summer. Basically, sometimes those end up open and vacant, but there's not enough time to get someone in. So we asked for a wait list to be implemented. So that way it at least allows if someone can take that housing option for that 3 weeks, then it does. Emails being human readable, they are working actively with IT to make this happen. The reason we have weird emails where it's like JEB, so it's like the first two letters and then your initial and then some random string of numbers, is because we used to give emails to anyone who signed up for a class. So that included course takers, that also included just people who randomly wanted to try one class. And unfortunately, it resulted in a spam issue. So now it only is available to those who are in the courses and making like a degree candidate. So once you get that admission, it helps against some friendly fire from other students. And then the one that I think is really the most important is visas. I know there's been a lot of conversation around visas in the Harvard community at large, but particularly at HES, because there is an on-campus requirement. I spoke with the dean, and as of right now, she says that because I asked her to do an open house saying, hey, what's the deal with the visas? Let us know. And she says, unfortunately, it's super unique because it can depend on what country you're from. It can depend on how far you are into your journey, that a open house probably wouldn't actually be very useful and would probably allow for a lot of students kind of like not private information, but their like personal information of what status they have, where, and stuff like that. It would not be appropriate. And so with that logic, I completely agree. But they are working with everyone. So if this is your like final year, then they will work with you to figure out what they can do. They, again, have committed that no one's going to lose their degree by simply not having access to online. But they also said that the countries that are impacted reflect such a small portion of students that, again, most people wouldn't need most of that context and most of the things that could be talked about, so that they work with you individually. And I think that's a great thing because then they know who you are. You're not just like a number, you're a full name, full face, and they are really working hard on it. So they haven't removed the on-campus requirement because they haven't needed to, or people have more runway in their degree, but we are doing our best to figure out if there's anything, if we come across more cases, what the transition plan is. But so far, so good. Fingers crossed. And I hope there are no issues with visas. And I hope, anyway. All right. So I'm going to go back to our slideshow. And then I'm going to actually share again. How do I share here? Bear with me, guys. Every time I do this, it's like, how do I do this? All right. Next up on the agenda is a recap of past events and upcoming events. We did do a little bit of a switcheroo that clubs and societies can go ahead before our board and Harvard graduate. I don't know if Carly Ray's here yet, so that may not
I'm
make
here,
a lot.
Jess.
Okay, fantastic. And then we're going to go into the professor spotlight, which if you haven't registered for it, but you want to go, it's Jennifer Cole. I'll talk to you about it in a minute. You just stay on this line. Stay on it. It's the exact same one that we want to make the transition easy for you. So even if you haven't signed up formally, there's your in. All right. Can you guys see my screen okay? I forgot to change the date on this, but we have one last volunteer night, I believe, this year at the Harvard Homeless Shelter. We actually have had an incredible, like, monthly, if not twice monthly, volunteer night at the Harvard Square Homeless Shelter. Last month, we had the art and wellness event that went really well. We also had the volunteer nights which at the Harvard Square Homeless Shelter. And we had the HESA Hears You office hours. So that's where you can come to us and say, hey, I have a question about this. I have a question about that. Or is there a way I can help in X, Y, and Z? It's the easiest way for us to give you one-on-one time, or at least just time in a group setting for us to say, hey, yes, let me check into that, or no. Nathan's and mine are listed on my DCE, so you can sign up for those, but we won't have them till February going forward just because we can't. And then everyone else's, just check Instagram. It'll tell you when they're anyone from our board, they'll be able to work with you. Upcoming, we have the Professor Spotlight event tonight with Jennifer Cole. I am currently in her class. She's an incredibly cool professor. I can't say enough good things. I'm actually taking not this class that's coming up, but the for J term, but the one for spring. So it's really exciting. She's actually going to talk about both of her classes that she has coming up. And then end of semester. So in case I forget at the end of this, I hope everything is going great in life right now and you are just breezing through your finals. But I want to make sure that you know that like we are thinking about you. We know that this is a tough time just to keep anchored down when you have so many other things that you need to do. Congratulations on getting through the semester. All right, talking about Professor Cole, we have two. One is on natural disasters and one is on food and greed. I will be in the food and greed. So if you want to be my study friend, let me know. Both are great. That is today. Just stay on this exact link and it'll take you to that one. All right, coming soon. This is actually continuing up, actually. Harvard Square Homeless Shelter Supply Drive. We have had, I don't want to say disappointing because I appreciate everything that has been given, but we're trying to help as much as we can. And it has been a really tough year for many people. There's a lot of things going on. So I understand the decrease where it exists in donations this year. We normally average around a few thousand or more. And unfortunately, we're not on pace where we normally are. We are going to extend it through January, but things like I've tried to make it really accessible from a price point perspective. If you want to buy something for $40, you can, or $200, you can, or you can simply buy a pair of gloves for $6, $7. I am not a big fan of Amazon. I'm personally on Amazon hiatus, with the exception of this. It really goes to a good cause, and literally, it can be like the difference between life and death. It gets cold, and Farmers Almanac has told us it's going to be very cold and wet this year. If you can, even if you can't, if you can share it around, if you see it on our Instagram or anything like that, share it to your stories, see if anyone's out there that's interested. Again, we try to make it really accessible because we understand that it's been a really tough time. We have networking events coming in February. Part of that is with our alumni panel. So we're trying to get more alumni involved in some of our events. We have Welcome Week coming up, and then the newsletter is out. We recognize that we need to get a link onto our webpage so people can sign up if you haven't already. But if you log in and like to my DCE and choose to be a part of, I don't know, General Assembly, there is a little box there that says specifically, yes, sign me up, and then it'll automatically add you. So when you sign up for anything, you should be offered that option. All right, so we're going to go student societies and clubs updates. I'm going to hand it over to you, Carly Ray.
So I'm Carly Ray, the president of the Creative Writing and Literature Student Club now. And I did our slide since we will technically be meeting next year. I did the whole semester in review. So I just got finished. We just launched Inkspires with Chris Mooney today, and we had almost 30 students and classmates attend. So that was really exciting. We have officially become a club. We launched a book club, which we're hoping to try some different nights of the week. This upcoming semester, we're thinking maybe Wednesday nights. We just launched Inkspires, our professor series. So we're going to be spotlighting creative writing and literature professors at HES. We've also hosted 3 literary agents. We've had John Cusick and we've had Jen Roque and a few others. We also launched Red Pen Live featuring a former editor at Simon & Schuster. She came and did live editing. Creative writers in any of the degree programs could see like different ways to tweak a first page. Hopefully our website will be launched in the new year. We're very excited for that. We're going to also have a blog on there. We did launch a newsletter. It's through Google Groups. So if you want to be on there to get any of our links, we just send out like if there's an event coming, we'll post the link on there. And then I was checking our social media to see if we gained followers to post in our review. And we've gained actually 60 new followers on Instagram. And then we got confirmation that we can record our events on a YouTube channel. So if you can't attend, that will be available for everyone to watch after. So yeah, that's been our semester in review, and we're excited for this upcoming semester.
Hi everyone, my name is Ivy Zhang. I'm the president HES Psychology Student Club. This semester, the Psychology Student Club focused on building connections, sharing knowledge, and creating meaningful space for learning and conversation. In September, we participated 2025 convocation where we met new admitted students and connected with other HES student leaders. And in October, we launched Why It Matters faculty video series, which introduces professors, highlights their research, and helps students better understand the courses they teach at HES. And in November, we hosted our doctoral psychology alumni panel, giving students a chance to hear directly from alumni pursuing PhD and PsyD programs. And in December, we wrapped up the semester with the Thinking Student AI Cognition and Learning in Digital Age, a conversation with two professors on how AI is reshaping learning and human cognition. All of these events receive very positive feedback from students, and this really motivates us to continue organizing meaningful events for our community. Alongside our events, we stay connected with our community through monthly newsletters and podcast episodes focusing on topics like suicide prevention, depression, inclusivity, and mind-body connection. These asynchronized events not only share evidence-based mental health knowledge with our community, but also give us a consistent way to connect our students throughout the semester. Looking ahead to next semester, we're exploring a few new ideas. One is hosting online meetups for the HES community where students can exchange ideas and share an experience. This is still in the ideation stage, but we are very excited about the possibility. We're also hoping to bring back our virtual mindfulness and meditation sessions in the upcoming spring semester. And finally, if you haven't already, you can sign up our free club membership, and members can receive our monthly newsletters and updates. You can also follow us on social media channels to stay connected and get timely information about our upcoming events. I think overall, it's been a semester centered on engagement, connectivity, and building a strong psychology community at HES, and we're really looking forward to what's ahead. So stay tuned with us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. Veteran Student Society.
So I'm also presenting on the Veteran Student Society. So Bonita, we will be working together and we're going to be launching a newsletter. We're going to be talking about that in January. And then we don't really have any event updates with the government shutdown. We did have events planned, but that hindered actually having the event. So stay on the lookout because starting in January, we're hoping to announce the dates to some upcoming events.
Fantastic. Lifestyle medicine.
And then lifestyle medicine. So we've had two events this past semester. We just had one with Professor Beth Frady. She came on, it was like an office hours. You could come on and talk with her. She shared more about all of the classes that she teaches at HES and at the medical school. We are going to be having Tracy McCargo, who's teaching Introduction to Lifestyle Medicine for J-term. She's going to be coming on in February for an event, so stay on the lookout for that. And then we also did an event with Daniela DeVarney, and she talked about breathing for resilience. So we plan on hosting some more events in the spring, so stay tuned for January because we'll be announcing it the next assembly.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, on to board updates. So let me see here. Let me just see who I see. Kim, do you have any updates?
Hey, you know what? Final weeks have been incredibly hectic, so I don't really have any update from the AOBOM liaison. I shot you an email
Yes.
earlier this week, but I understand this is a crazy final weeks for everyone, so we could work on everything later this next week. But yeah, no update from the joint degree office.
Sounds good. And then we'll have our interim director, Haley Matthews, for culture and belonging.
Oh, hi everyone. Just a few updates for that committee overall. Right now, Helene had to leave suddenly. And so prior to leaving, we developed like a digital inventory of certain applications that support students with accessibility needs, and then also like a repository or keeping inventory of your articles when you're doing research. So that was one of the main things. And then we also met a few times discussing our approach for the coming new year because previously for that committee, we started off with the transition into the new members. We started off with missing documentations from the previous strategy plan and so forth. And so it's rebuilding from there. So we do plan to host some events in the new year once we get a strategy plan and assemble our committee all over again. But the main output so far has been that inventory that we will circulate at some point within the association so that students have that so that they can keep track of their research and everything like that. Support, because having support is as essential for belonging within our association, within our school. But yeah, that is the main update for our committee here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Ishta. Ishta, you might be on mute.
Oh, sorry, you got stuck. But yeah, I don't have a lot of major updates. The first HESA newsletter was sent out last month. I'm working on the second one, which I will talk to Jess about later. But yeah, that's all for now. Also, the Harvard Square homeless shelter. So will be posted on social media once a week. Like Jess said, if you can share and pass along the message, that would be great.
Fantastic. One important thing, we don't have our director of events here, so I'll give her update. Main update is we have a lot of really important things coming down the pipe, and Isha is lovely and helps make them all happen and let you know about them. We have coming up in February, we'll have a version of a welcome week that's like a networking event. It won't be the full out networking event, or it won't be the full out welcome week that we've had in the past. I think it's going to be open to all students so that they can hear about what our clubs and societies are doing. I'm getting dates on that. Outside of that, one of the things that's changed with events is so we have enough time to actually market them appropriately. And so you don't just feel like you're getting a barrage the week of to see what's happening. We have changed our personal goal line from 10 days for having it submitted to 20. So that way you, as someone who's just like trying to figure out what to do when you're on campus or whatever, you're able to see it a lot sooner. I think that's going to help quite well because it's 20 business days. So everyone who is interested in seeing what's happening, you'll be able to see it literally a month before. So we want to make sure that it's becoming easier to find everything. Having posted it through DCE has presented some challenges, but we're working through them. And then if you are interested, if you are a club or society and you are interested in collaboration in any capacity, please take note of that 20 days so that we can get on your calendar and we can set something up because we'd love to have some more collaboration events. And that's all I have for events. Lindsay.
Hi. So we have the holdup has been my job. I was waiting for them to approve my proposed schedule for the spring, and they just did that last week. And so it looks like I will have Wednesdays off again, like I have this past semester. So the events that we're trying to get planned will most likely happen on Wednesdays. We're working, sorry, I should start with, I have committee. Beth is on my committee. She's here. I don't see anybody else from my committee here, but if you would like to join us, let me know and you can join our committee. We usually have between 4 and 7 people attending. We meet every other week. And the 3 initiatives that we've been working on are holding office hours. Mine are canceled this month because they're a week from today, and I believe today is the last day of the semester we're allowed to hold events, but they will start back up in February, same schedule. They'll be the Saturday after General Assembly and 1 hour later than the General Assembly start time. The second thing is we're working on the resource list. What we've done is we've created a spreadsheet where we've taken all the links on the HESA website under the student resources section. And we've been checking to make sure that those are all still current. And then we've been adding additional resources to the list. So we are hoping to connect with Tim's team soon to work on getting that updated on the website. And then the third thing is events where we're highlighting different offices at the school, different departments that maybe we don't interact with all the time. The one who has responded back so far is the archives office, where you can learn about how you can dig around in the archives or how you can donate things to the Harvard Archives, and maybe students in 100 years will learn all about your experience at the Extension School from something that you have submitted to the archives. So watch for that. I hope to get that all settled pretty soon. And since my office hours aren't being held this month, if you have any needs, feel free to reach out. You can find me on WhatsApp, or I can share my email in the chat here. Oh, and then I put in the chat, Jess, we had 2 professor spotlights last month that weren't in the slide.
Sorry.
One of them is the one that I hosted. It was leadership in politics, and with professors John Paul, and I pronounced his last name wrong in the recording. It's not Rollert, it's Rollert. John Paul Rollert and George Wendt. And Tim was very speedy at getting the recording up on our YouTube channel already, so that's already out if you're interested. I did share it in the chat earlier, but I'll put it in there again, and then I'll put my email address in case anybody would like to connect. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I'm excited to see that list of just resources. Sometimes it just helps to look through it and realize, hey, I didn't even know I could get help with that. That's awesome. All right. Tim?
Yes. The professor spotlight sounded very interesting. Yeah, I said I can't make it to January term, but it would be amazing to get 4 credits in just like 4 days. I still find this amazing. Yeah, to the technology team, so myself was a bit, how do I say, it happened so much in the semester, but we are still working on the connection to get the newsletter, where you are all asking right now, connected to the website and so on. So we have a program, HubSpot, which offers an internal integration on signing up, and as well that you can unsign if you want. And it manages everything automatically. And we just need to get it included now, that we can create this automation, and then we will let you know. And we, yes, can already include you all, whoever wants. Can just send me an email, yeah, and I can consolidate and already include you, that it goes besides the automation.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tim. And then you might want to drop your email in the chat so that they can contact you for that. All right, Paul.
Hi, everybody. Paul Bosmer here, Director of Community and Public Service. We have been having a great time at the Harvard Square Homeless Shelter. And yeah, I just would like to say that we've been hosting these volunteer nights and running the supply drive, but attendance and donations have been lower than we had hoped. And I just want to be transparent about that, but the need for supplies or volunteers has not gone away. The shelter relies on consistent small-scale support, things like socks, hygiene items, and a few hours of students' time really makes a difference. It's only from 7 to 9. It's just 2 hours if you'd like to show up. These aren't abstract issues. This is happening right outside our campus. So if you've been meaning to get involved, but you haven't yet, this is a really easy and meaningful way to do it. Showing up once matters. Bringing one item matters. We're going to keep these opportunities going every Thursday. We are having another unofficial homeless shelter volunteer night on December 18th, this coming Thursday. Yep, I would love to see more of you there. And as far as more updates, I'm hoping to set up or get a little more people involved in like a small committee for the spring semester. I have really high hopes for Earth Day. We're going to run an awesome Earth Day event. We're going to clean up the Charles River. We're going to be set up for Earth Day, for Harvard's official Earth Day event, and we'll have little drawing areas for children. We're going to be passing out information about different mechanisms for students to get involved around the Cambridge area, and also for national or international students. My deputy Gabby is running a campaign for the Land Conservation Trust, where we will be hopefully saving public lands from oil exploration or development. So if these are any things that you find yourself interested in, please contact me. I would love to have more hands on deck. We have a lot going on, and we are going to have a lot of fun while we do it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. And then we have, who am I missing? Sophie or Mel, are you giving the club and society update?
I can, unless Sophie wants to.
Yeah, go for it, Mel.
Okay, essentially what we're working on right now is consolidating. There's not much to say other than what we said last week, but consolidating the applications in regards to AI, the 2 AI groups that are forming. So we've reached out to them. Ula has reached out to get the remaining paperwork for the other application. We are in touch with some other people that are looking to be interested in joining whatever the AI group is going to be formed once it's formed under one umbrella. So I am also continuing to work on a master list. Sophie is continuing to work on a ton of Google Drive stuff. And I'm trying to think, did I leave anything out?
Yeah, one
Sophie?
other thing, our major initiative, two things for next year. We want to have,
Yes.
we did not have it happen this year, but we're going to have a training session for all the current clubs and societies, and then anybody who might be interested in clubs and societies can also join to learn more about how to form a society. So that's going to happen in February. It's going to be on Friday, February 6th. So we'll be sending out information about that. We'll work with you to make sure we get that on social media. And then the other thing is our other big initiative is how to make it more streamlined to apply if you would like to form a future society. That's our major initiative. We're going to get that all ironed out by the new year. And that's it. Those are our major updates for now, but we do have 2 new societies that should be, or they're almost ready to be going live. And so once that does happen, we'll make sure that we let everybody in HES know.
Fantastic, thank you.
We also quickly worked out the office hours, and that if Tacumbo is not available, then one of us will be filling in.
Okay, fantastic. Great. We do not have our Harvard Graduate Council rep here right now, but I'm sure they're working on great things. We will find out in February. Already did that. This has not been updated. I should have updated it. I apologize. But the most important thing is over here, you have your scan for more info. If you want to get on our Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, it's all linked here. And then if you want to donate at all, or just even look at the list for Harvard Square Homeless Shelter, you can click on this. All right. Thank you all so much. I am really grateful for you guys being here. We do have an incredible Professor Spotlight coming up in 15 minutes. And yeah, if you need anything from me, let me know. Have a great one, everyone. And I will see you in the new year. Happy New Year. Good luck on your exams. Good luck on tests. Good luck on writing portion things that are horrible and long. Any of it. Just good luck.
I'd like to say thank you all so much for being a part of this. All right. Take care.
Good luck, everyone, and have a great break, holiday, all that good stuff.
Happy
And
holiday,
rest.
everyone.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Yeah.